so Dragons, Warriors, Dragons won. So, okay, Cowboys, Storm.
Hang on, I didn't even write that many notes because I can tend to waffle about our Dragons. Two of us down the end of the table here. Mike, can you bring up it might be halftime in that Raiders game?
They were 8-0 last time.
Yeah, Raiders currently playing South. It looks like halftime. We'll get to that in a second. Let's cast our minds back to Thursday night. The Broncos played the Knights. This was a close-ish game until about the 70th minute, and then Brisbane just went bang, 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 and got their fifth win on the trot now.
On the trot, yes.
I watched this. Did you catch much of this?
Yeah, I got most of this.
Bunker... not so good again.
Yeah, well, I think that's been the chat that the bunker's there to make the wrong decisions right. But they seem to be making
decisions wrong.
No, they seem to be making the wrong decisions worse. So that's the chat at least. So there was two instances in this. There was one. Let's start with Dane Great Guy and the put down.
Yeah,
a lot of people say that's the right call.
I tend to agree. If the ball loses the hand and then you kind of regather it as it's hitting the ground, it's hit the ground. So
it's hit the ground first. Yeah,
it's like that one's probably okay. The obstruction rule.
It's contentious. Just going back to Dane Great Guy. Guess who had him anytime try score?
Oh, you probably did. Yes. Yeah, you probably weren't happy about the result.
So in my eyes, I was saying that's a fucking try. This is a disgrace. It's contentious at least. But yeah, a lot of people saying that maybe that it was the right call. That was a tough one. The obstruction.
Yeah. The obstruction.
Who the fuck knows? Week in, week out with obstruction.
Yeah, and the rule is very much you got to run around the player to gain an advantage. You got to run behind it. So if and it depends on the angles because Martin's thrown the ball while behind, maybe on the inside shoulder. So that was what they said. Like as he's running behind, he's thrown the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was also downfield as well. It wasn't like within the 10, was it?
No, it was like at the 30, and then Cobbo ran away and then scored a 60-metre try. So
obstruction's obstruction. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it is, I suppose.
Yeah. The thing is, if he's say 6 inches to the left, he throws it while he's not say slightly covered up by the guy who's running behind, and it's a fair pass because it's a behind the backboard pass. So that's okay. But they showed the head-on vision. You can definitely see him kind of disappear, and then the pass happens. He's in the motion of passing as he's running behind, but the ball's released behind that shoulder. So that was how they explained it to everyone afterwards. Is he was in the motion of throwing, so he didn't actually run behind him. But it's not necessarily how it's been ruled in other times. So consistency, apples, bananas, they're all the same thing to the NRL.
Go apple, go orange, go banana.
Yeah, so
that's it.
There's been a lot of chat, I think, in the weeks. I think Ricky as well, from last round, was saying, like, why the bunker there? We don't need them anymore. They're useless.
It slows the game down and there's no consistency. That's the big thing as well, is the consistency.
Yeah. It's a direct comparison. You look maybe what the NFL does with reviewing all at least they get the things right. I think
they do get it right. It does slow things down more as well, I think, in the NFL. But you're right. I think more often than not, they get it right.
Yeah.
And that might just be more money, more experts.
It could also be the rule set. Oh, it's 20-0 half time, by the way.
Yeah, Raiders up.
It could be the rule set as well, because the NRL is, they've gotten themselves into this place in the last decade where everything's very grey. So they keep changing it year on year, and then no one knows how to referee the game anymore. So
yeah, it's frustrating. I suppose the saving grace in this one was, did it change the outcome of the game?
Well, it might have changed the momentum.
Yeah. There's always that argument.
Yeah. And then Cobbo, scored a double in this following that, and then
had his best game so far. A lot of people were talking about Selwyn Cobbo at the start of the year as the next big thing. Hadn't really seen it. Had seen flashes, and then definitely his
getting best ball. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. He's so big for a 19-year-old as well. I don't know if Latrell's the right comparison. Maybe that's a young GI, maybe.
Yeah, he's the hybrid between the two. Like, they had a baby, then maybe Cobbo. So.
Yeah, and obviously that's ceiling kind of stuff, but that's who.
That's where you
bigger than Izzy was.
Izzy maybe is a good example as well. I
think the body type different though. So he has a comparable body type to GI and Latrell. That's
whereas Izzy kind of had that. You chuck him on the wing, you'd put up the high ball.
He reminds more like Daniel Tupou would be a comparison to Izzy.
That's a good comparison.
So Yeah, but by all counts, there's 14 teams. Everyone except Storm and Panthers probably chasing his
good luck at Red Hill trying to retain him because he's going to get a lot of money thrown at him.
I think they re-upped him last year because they were getting him in the squad and they bumped his money up. But they're going to have to bump his money up again. And him and Oates have been two of the best try scorers this year for Brisbane and really helped push them into the top 8.
Top 4 at the moment, as it sits.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned Corey Oates because last year he was in and out of the team. People were kind of thinking, oh, God, what's going on here? Because he'd kind of gone from this elite finishing winger, big-bodied winger, to is he that good? And he's had a really nice resurgence this year.
Both things, like the Reynolds and the Reynolds won, and then the confidence that's instilled in the team, they've way more creative. Like they're getting ball is probably the main thing.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention Thursday night, no Reynolds.
Yeah, yes.
So what could have been if Adam Reynolds was there?
Yeah.
So 5 on the trot for the Bronx now, and including the Sharks, South, and Manly in that 5 in the row. So pretty impressive. All of us had Brisbane outside of our top 8 in our pre-season preview.
Well, we said they would
close to wooden spoon.
Yeah.
No.
I think we all had them like 9th, 10th, 11th. Check the tape.
Yeah. 2 to 3 positions better.
I think a lot of us had Cowboys.
Cowboys were
down
bottom.
Below them,
We thought Reynolds would help boost them up, but not as far as they have been. So
correct.
I think Martin actually been a great find for them.
And what an awesome story.
Yeah.
Coming back from that
really
head injury and having years out.
You got to remember, like that Cobbo throw, who's throwing him that ball in that space? It's Martin. So I think they've kind of found a little bit in their spine. Walters is playing 9 for him as well. So
interesting move there.
Yeah.
Seems to be going okay.
Yep.
Looking really
good. See when they hit Penrith and Storm what they can do.
Yeah, that's the issue, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the barometer.
Can you do it against one of those two teams?
Yep.
They play the Titans next week. The Knights, hapless Knights, have the Warriors. They'll be searching for a win. They won those first 2 games and they haven't won since, have they? The Newcastle Knights? No, they won last week. They beat the Bulldogs. I was at that game.
Yeah, must have been a cracking game.
That's a good segue because they beat the Bulldogs and then that led to the Trent Barrett sacking. So
yes, great segue. Great
segue. They lost
totally playing that one.
Maybe an insight into how many beers I was on Friday night. But anyways, blockbuster that one on a Friday night. Cop that 15th versus 16th to kick off your Magic Round. It did lead to the sacking / mutual agreement. I'm saying
stepping down. I think
mutual agreement never sounds good, does it? It's always someone breaks up with someone.
That's it.
Trent had
we'll let you save face by saying you quit, but really.
Well, Trent had the 2 weeks of the media speculation with Gus running, training, and what's happening, and the boys all, they came out and won their game straight after that, and then they played so terribly.
Funny how the speculation drops off after you go out and win.
Yeah. So it's I think that whole shit going on there, and the same thing happened to Trent Manley with all the background with the him against the club, etc. I don't think he's one that he prefers the footy aspect, but not the face media bullshit. So maybe that had drawn on him a little bit, and so he's threw in the towel and said, "I've had enough of this. I'm out." Or whether writing was on the wall, probably a bit of both. And they've moved him on. So
you know what his record was as Bulldogs coach?
Not great, and Manly wasn't great either. So.
5-29 as Dogs coach, 15%. Is that down to the cattle that you have? Possibly. At Manly, I do have it here.
29 and 43.
So at 40% at Manly.
Yeah, but then he leaves and they top 4 squad. So
so not a great start to Trent's coaching career. I've expressed my love of Trent Barrett on this show before. Dragons fan from Temora. I've got family.
He might be one of those ones.
Hot coach as well. Good looking rooster. But hopefully he gets an opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah. I'll use the NFL comparison here. Like there's some guys that are really good aren't real good head coaches, but they're great assistants. Coordinators. And that I think is probably where Barrett is, because he was excellent at Penrith. Where Luai and Cleary are now is very much from his engagement with helping them from a halves pairing. So there's been chat maybe he'll go back to Penrith, and Ivan said we'd love to have him back at some point, but currently we've got no openings. But maybe that's his role, going forward. He's the head coach is maybe just he's got too much extra shit he doesn't need to deal with. Just focus on the footy, on the strategy side, and he can do that. And then someone else can be the face, and we see that all the time across leagues. Like guys step up and then realize, this is a bit more intense than I thought it'd be, and it's different. So,
and we're talking pre-show as well. Often, great players don't necessarily make great coaches. It's not one for one comparison. We're talking about Wayne Bennett and Craig Bellamy and Phil Gould. Not really known for their playing careers, are they? They're all known as these mastermind coaches.
Yeah, well,
I was just looking here on Trent Barrett's Wikipedia. 2014 was the head coach of the Italian rugby league team. Maybe you could go back for Forza Azzurri. He might get James Tedesco over there with him, and bang, the Azzurri are the best rugby league nation in the world. What do you reckon? I reckon Serbia had put together a pretty good team.
So following on that, then Gus, we've got the joke there. Will Gus be the first coach president?
Well, technically on paper, it's Mick Potter at the moment. Yeah. Gus is pretty crook. He had COVID 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Did you see the tweet? He's in all sorts at the moment.
Old fella and COVID.
Yeah.
Usually not a good combination. So
tried to stir up a few of my dog fan friends, sending it. He said something along the lines of, "I've got chills and headaches and muscle aches and this and that." I said, "Oh, is that from being sick or watching Canterbury play?" Hoping Gus gets over this flu / long COVID, whatever he's got.
You probably see Gus around training, I think, more than not going forward.
Yep.
But of course, Mick in name will have the position. So replacement, who do you go through to as a replacement? I did see during the week, people are, I think we talked about it. There's a lack of talent in the NRL. We're bringing new teams in. Some people are starting to think maybe it's not a lack of talent, because you definitely see a lot of young guys coming through. Maybe it's a lack of experienced coaches to get the best out of them. Because we talk about Wayne, we talk about Craig. Put Ivan
in that list now. Yeah. Robbo, I think.
Yeah, Robbo, and maybe Des, depending on what roster he's got for him.
How cranky he is.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. But
what his blood pressure is. Actually, Craig's always cranky, and his blood pressure is always through the roof. And but he goes, all right, old bellyache.
But below that, the rest of the leagues, you've got guys that I've got question marks on the hot seat. So
it's a really good point that you make there, Sean. And with the talk of expansion, and luckily the Dolphins will get one of the greatest coaches ever in Wayne Bennett. But how much is it this kind of lack of talent pool in the players, or is it lack of coaching talent and system and good systems as well?
Systems, yes. Yeah. Well, it's not. Head coach gets all the rap for it, but also that system, his assistants, the strategy, the game plan, et cetera, it all adds up to being an elite football team. So, So the chat, of course, Shane Flanagan being a well-known head coach, winning a premiership, been out in the wilderness after all the
doping scandals
at the Cronulla. So
been doing a bit of commentary. I've liked his insights, listening to him.
He's assistant somewhere else.
I think. Can you just chase up what? I do think he has some kind of coaching role, because he served his ban and then came back. And
I think he's been assistant for 2 years. Yeah,
and he's been an assistant, but it's been sort of trying his luck at commentary. Obviously, Kyle Flanagan is there, and he's been playing. Trent was actually picking him as a 7 after Kyle was sort of in and out of the team last year and didn't start the year at 7 this year. So, maybe the father-son option there. Will be interesting to see if they go after Shane Flanagan. Other options, Paul Green is still maybe looking for a job. Former Cowboys and Maroons, he coached the Maroons as well for a little bit there, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he coached them last year. And Billy took over this year.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's in the wilderness.
Johnny Morris, who got an almighty sacking out of nowhere last year, maybe one of the most unjust sackings in rugby league
I think the problem is he's probably too comparable to Trent.
Young, kind of, maybe doesn't have that kind of cutthroat kind of approach that a bellyache or a Wayne Bennett would have. Jim Dimmick, his name's come up, but
I wonder if Sheens will take the Tigers over and then Maguire will go to the Bulldogs.
Well, you can't turn on any kind of rugby league media in the last 2 years without hearing some kind of question mark around Madge Maguire's job.
Yeah.
Interesting
enough, they won this game.
They won this game, West Tigers, 36 points to 22. Did not catch this game early on Friday evening. I was driving down to the beautiful south coast of New South Wales. Shout out to any small businesses down there that might need the massive reach of this podcast to help fill your bars and your golf clubs and wherever else I went on Baby Moon. Now, the other thing to come out of this Trent Barrett sacking / stepping down was maybe a player exodus. So Brent Naden, straight away, he's gone to the Tigers the next day.
He was named
the players list was funny.
Yeah, he's named as an out for the Bulldogs and named as an in for the Tigers. He played.
How does that happen? Hey guys, I'm Brent. Pass me. I'll tell you how it plays. He's how it happens. He's a winger. That's how you can do it. You
put me on the wing and just throw me the ball.
That's right.
That's it.
You don't walk in as a halfback or as a 9 or a fullback and play the next day, do you?
If it was like Munster or someone like that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, I'm Munster. I'll just follow me, lads.
Maybe. Then there was a lot of sort of noise around Tavita Pangai Jr. Would he go? He's verbally committed, as much as verbal commitment means anything these days, to staying. Question marks around Paul Vaughan. He's only on a 1-year deal this year, isn't he?
Apparently, Barrett was the one that was sort of vouching for him to bring him on next season if he was ever going to play next season.
So it's going to mean that they're going to have heaps of cap room.
Yeah, well, like Matt Burton, of course, coming across there and having worked with Barrett at Penrith, so they have that connection too. Whether he goes, I've had enough of this, I'm going back to Penrith.
I don't think so. I think they've invested heavily in Burton, and
but
he's playing very well. Like there's not much.
But if he doesn't want to be there, like
that's true. Yeah. But you know what can make you want to be there is a bit of cash.
Give me some extra ones with some zeros,
and probably some extra game time as well.
Bulldogs going to have plenty of room. I think hot favourites probably playing not very much for the wooden spoon.
And it's a shame because in our pre-season preview, with all the
team on paper, they should have been.
Yeah, with Burton, with TPJ, with Vaughan,
we said
with Addo Carr.
Halves were going to be their issue.
We thought they wouldn't be this bad.
No.
Put it that way. So, look, half a season still to go. They've won 2 games. They won 3 last year. So it's not too hard for them to improve on where they were last year. But I think with the signings, Canterbury fans kind of had a little bit higher expectation for them. They play the Dragons next week. What a fire matchup that is. And Tigers will play South Sydney, who are currently getting humped by the Canberra Raiders out there at Dubbo.
Do we mention that Sean Flanagan's son plays for the
Yes, we mentioned that. You also called him Sean Flanagan. His name is Shane Flanagan. I have got dyslexia on both sides.
Flanagan was with the Dragons. He was with the Dragons. We didn't say that.
It was... So in February this year, he was announced as a list management consultant for the Dragons. Before that, he'd sort of been in and out.
He probably took one look at that list, was like, fuck, we're paying over.
Ben Hunt's been great, mate. 3rd in the Dally M leaderboard. Thank you very much. Worth every penny. Friday night, Parramatta beat Manly 22-20.
Stole us to the death, I believe.
Yeah, this one came right down to the wire. The big story out of this one. Poor fella, Tommy Trbojevic, dislocated his shoulder. Will need surgery. I think that's confirmed now. I think yesterday it was kind of, is he going to need it? From all reports today, looks like he will need surgery. It's question mark on the season. So best case scenario, shoulder reconstruction, depending on what structures were involved, you're looking at 12, maybe more weeks, which would put you right on finals. Best case scenario. Or worst case scenario, and a lot of the chat that I've seen has kind of been around sort of...
Season done, shut him down.
Yeah, season done, no World Cup at the end of the year, et cetera. Mate, poor fella, like he's had these hamstring issues. Now you're going to have, like, shoulders aren't good because once you do them once, it makes you so much
He's had knee this year as
more
well.
prone. Yeah, he had that little knee scare. Won the Dally M, playing 15 games last year, so what could have been. Nightmare for Manly fans because we talk about, Turbo less Manly compared to when he does play, completely different team.
Yeah, well, I think we've said it before. 100% they're a top 4 team. In banged up like they are, they probably make the top 8, and no Turbo. I don't see him making the 8.
Yeah, I think it's lined through them. Like premiership aspirations, at least.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to find something.
Yeah. Yeah,
to fill that gap.
Yeah, maybe they make the top 8 and they go out in the first week of the finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck. It'll be Ruben Garrick that goes back to play one. Pretty handy winger, good goal kicker, but
he's not Turbo.
Yeah, pretty hard to fill in the
Tell
boots
you
of
what,
arguably the best player in the NRL. So yeah, nightmare for Manly fans there. The other thing as well is all the talk around Origin. So we've been speculating for weeks as to who will get that empty centres jersey with Latrell going to miss first game of Origin with his hamstring tendon issue.
Yep.
Turbo was the incumbent other centre, New South Wales playing. It was Miles Ford for Corey Hall. The 3 fullback approach, just chuck them in the centres and they'll be fine. So
The problem is Pap's out as well. So.
2 of those guys, Pappenhausen is out as well. There was a lot of talk around him maybe getting a 14 or maybe chucking him on the wing. So this chat that we were, this battle essentially for Latrell's spot between Katoni Staggs and CSC for Talakai and Stephen Crichton.
Crichton played really well on the other night as well. I think
two
Staggs
of
and Crichton.
Two of them have to get a gig, don't they?
My favourites would be Staggs and Crichton currently.
Yeah, I think Staggs and Crichton is good. Talakai, when he's on his bet, like that night where he just played one of the best halves of rugby league football ever, that was against Manly, just terrorising. But I think maybe
Harper Morgan doesn't play for Queensland, so
Morgan Harper.
I did that on purpose.
Oh, you did on purpose? All right. I'll play it this time. And Zach Lomax, as a Dragons fan, he's been a bit quiet this year. He's been struggling with.
No, he hasn't. He's been talking too much shit. That's his problem.
He's jumping on the back end of Tyson Frizzell and getting suplexed and shit. He has been struggling with a broken thumb. Rehabbing that from last year. Yeah. I thought he played his best game of the year last year. He would give you a pretty good goal kicking option there, although Cleary probably takes that job anyway. So I don't know why I even mentioned that.
Yeah. You got Teddy at 1. Who's your wingers then?
I think you go. There's a lot of questions around. Does Addo Carr keep his spot? I think he.
I think Toto as well. He's just come back.
From injury. But that's something that I hadn't actually considered because I just sort of
outside of Teddy, like the other 4 positions are
That's something that I just kind of assumed is that you wouldn't try to mess with a winning formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That kind of thinking. I think Freddie Fittler likes to pick and stick. That's now that you mention it, Addo Carr hasn't had a great go at it. I think that is more of a function of him being at the Bulldogs.
Yes.
And To'o coming back from injury. But I still think those 2 are the best 2 wingers that New South Wales has to offer. I think it's those 2 centre spots. And gun to my head, I'll go Staggs and Crichton.
Yep. Yeah, left field, maybe 1 in the centre.
Well, that's a great point there, actually. Could he?
But I think they probably prefer him as 14.
I think so too. I think they like the fact he's a true utility. He can play centres, he can play 6.
He can play the second row, really.
He can play second row, he can play as a ball-playing lock. If there's anyone that can be a true utility.
He played fullback, so...
If there's true utility, Jack Whiten probably fits that mould. But not a bad shout. He may get a starting position in the centres. We will...
Couple of weeks away.
Well, next weekend.
Well,
for team announcements. So we'll have a really good hard speculate.
Chat.
Maybe name our 17s.
Damien Cook just scored
next
there.
Sunday.
He's been in a bit of a battle there for the 9.
I think he keeps his. He's so
happy.
Coruscant was in and played last year in game 3. But I think Cookie, when he's on, he's magical. Yep. Did you know he's a beach sprinter? Yeah, everyone fucking knows. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah, he just ran 20 metres to score a try. All right, let's get Dragons, Warriors. Dragons won. So, okay, Cowboys Storm.
Hang on, I didn't even write that many notes because I tend to waffle about our Dragons. 2 of us down the end of the table here. And it was against, the Warriors, Dragons, these 2 teams winning the premiership this year. Yeah, probably. I reckon the Dragons would be a good chance. No, probably not.
We talked about Lomax.
Horrible conditions yesterday, very wet and slippery. there at Cogra. Dragons get the win. Cody Ramsey played at fullback. So
Another new fullback?
Yeah, so again, Hook just keeps changing the lineup. But I actually thought he looked okay. He was really he played a few games at the start of the year on the wing and looked really quiet.
Yeah.
But he's got that next level pace that you know he scored a long effort try yesterday where he just got on the outside of his opposing off of the Warriors centre and just see her straight away. So yeah, I don't know. Is he a long term fullback? Not sure, but didn't do himself any harm yesterday. That is for sure. Warriors fans will be concerned with Adam Fanua-Blake. He had a foot injury.
Chat Liz Frank.
Liz Frank. Oh, God, let's hope it's not that because that is probably season.
Well, and that doesn't help their chances as well with Matt Lodge getting released as well. They're essentially they're starting front rowers of just...
that, for Warriors fans, will be reeling because we always speak... Well, we have spoken over the last 2 years in the COVID era, the era of this podcast, the era of, the world can get flipped on its head. Let's may as well try something that we are unqualified to do. We always talk about, when the Warriors go back, is it going to affect them? Our players wanting to stay in Australia. Is Walsh going to go?
And he said he was
go over there.
Go across,
It seems Lodge didn't want to move to New Zealand. That seemed to be the number one reason.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Didn't want to go back to New Zealand. You signed with the New Zealand Warriors and don't want to play New Zealand.
Yeah.
He wants to go play. He wants to go to play for the New York Warriors and go fucking terrorize families on a bender and get thrown in New York jails.
Top shelf wanker.
Throw that out. Say it to his face. Say it to his face.
After he's had a few drinks, he'll probably bash me. So. in my own house as well, thinking it's his.
That's spicy stuff on the internet. Matt Lodge, please don't come to Canberra and bash us in our basement. Now, are the Dolphins interested in signing him?
No, I think they've ruled it out as well.
Could this be Matt Lodge done in the NRL?
No, someone will pick him up.
When he's on, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got good size. He gets the run meters. He's no superstar. He's not Payne Haas, etc., etc.
Well, the bloke that just may have done is Liz Frank. Adam Fanua-Blake is probably closest to Payne Haas getting around at the moment.
He's a good, solid addition to your squad. So he probably won't get paid top dollar. Whereas I think Warriors, that's why he wanted to go there. He was getting paid top dollar, get what he could while he was there, and then ditch him when they wanted to go back over the ditch.
Not bad. Dutch.
Yeah. I don't know. West or the Dragons probably pay over Saroon.
It's funny because it's true. Anyways, we'll see what happens there. Shout out to Warriors fans. That is, two starting front rowers. So that's effective immediately, is it?
Yeah, he's done.
Immediate release.
He's immediate release. Got no club.
Yeah.
Are we?
Could sign anywhere. Yeah.
One man leaves the Lodge last night, and Lodge leaves one team. No, there was something there, but the execution was no good.
Yeah. I was wondering where you got that. Anyway, Cowboys beat the Storm.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Cowboys Storm. Let's talk about this because what was it? A few weeks ago, we were like, are the Cowboys a real deal? They got to beat someone good, yada, yada, yada. They've gone out and humped Para. They've gone out and humped the Storm. They're a very good rugby league team. Caveat being no Pappenhausen, no Jerome Hughes.
Harry Grant playing 7.
I think Bellier came out and said he got it wrong after the game. As good as Harry Grant is, apparently not a 7.
Yeah, well, maybe his ball running and ball playing could have there, but his defence work, he just didn't fit into the B and 3 in from the side. He got caught out. Didn't really have the lateral pace a couple times as well. And
that's so interesting, isn't it? Because you think of Harry Grant as such a good tackler, but he plays in the middle, and
with the big boys around him,
and he's good at bringing down big guys that run it straight.
Yeah, running straight at him. Yeah. Whereas the lateral guys on the edges, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So didn't work. Cowboys 6 in a row.
Confirm good.
Yeah.
No argument about it now. I don't care that that there is the caveat of no Pap and no Hughes. Yeah. Do they make a 30-point difference? Maybe they're that's half your spine.
Yeah.
You would be looking at a very different game. But look, they weren't there. Then Cowboys did the job. That's 6 in a row. That's their best winning streak in 7 years. Mm-hmm. Which I believe, so since 2015, the year that
they made the finals,
they beat Brisbane. That Jonathan Thurston kick at the death.
Yep, from the sideline. Yes.
Yeah. So omens. Any
Well, I think Todd's probably in conversation for
Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Definitely
from where they were
last in round 3 about getting whenever it was about getting bad treatment because they're the Cowboys. All we had to do is have a little whinge, and the Cowboys are looking red hot.
Well, they're in that top tier of teams now. They get all the slack from the refs now.
Yeah,
they can do whatever they want.
They play Penrith next week, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Great test. They do lose Felt
Penrith in Penrith. Yeah,
and probably Big Jason as well.
Yeah, both MCLs. They're saying high grade for Felt, so his Origin aspirations game 1 are definitely gone. I think he's been really good. He probably would have.
Well, you got Cobo, Oates, Coates. As your potential wingers. Valentine's probably one of your centres. You got to find another centre. So one of maybe the odd man out in that could play centre, and then you got to fight over Ponga and Walsh being your fullback.
It's going to be an interesting chat next week. I'm looking forward to it. Tune in.
I've been thinking about it. But
tune in next Sunday. We'll let's us two Blues fans. We'll write down a 17, and you write a Queensland 17, and we'll discuss.
We'll do.
On Tamalolo, low grade MCL is what they're saying. So low grade, you're generally looking at sort of 2 to 3 weeks there for JT. A little bit sad because of his sort of resurrection, I guess.
He's been playing a lot.
Yeah, we saw his had multiple hand fractures last year. Didn't look like $1 million Dally M. JT last year. I'm not saying that he was quite back at that form, but he's looked a lot better than he did last year.
Right direction, yeah.
Indeed. And last night, Penrith doing Penrith stuff. The Pink Panthers, they look very good. 32-12 winners over the Chooks. It was 24-0 at after 60 minutes. This game was pretty much done at halftime. Cleary and Luai, excellent as per usual. 2 meat pies for Jerome Luai. Sort of a big story out of this one was swinging arm Jared Warrior-Hargraves. He copped. Who did he get? He got someone high.
Hit him across the chin
as they busted over.
Hence the name Swinging Arms Hardgraves.
And then swore at the WEF.
We've got the trifecta now on there.
I just can't say words or make jokes. Anyways, and he said something along the lines of, effing serious or something like that. And he got 10. He got 10 for it. It was a penalty try as well. So maybe a little bit contentious in that being a penalty try. I was out to dinner. I only saw the highlights of this morning. So, take it as you will watching the highlights. Looked like he was scoring that try regardless, I thought. Yeah. So does that make it a penalty try? No, I don't know.
Either way, he hit the dude across the face. He can't complain.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I'd be the guy like, lay low, brother. Like, you might have just avoided getting reported for that.
Yeah, and then Robbo, of course, whinging.
The guy that got hit kind of sold it as well. He scored the try right underneath the ref, and it was like...
Was that on Fisher Harris? Bring it up.
Might have been. I'm trying to find it now,
I was out for dinner. Bannister's, Alabella, shout out. Good feed. Yeah, good on a few cocktails last night, actually. It's funny because...
There's a fend. There it is.
Oh, speaking of Jack Whiten...
It's probably good getting tackled because I'm sure that ball was knocked on. But anyway...
Anyways, Raiders playing good.
Refs missing.
What was I talking about? Oh, you're having cocktail. The wife's pregnant. We went on this baby moon, right? And so her baby hump was sort of sitting underneath the table, and I just kept ordering cocktails. The waitresses kept bringing them, putting it in front of Sarah, and I was like, no, they're for me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I love me some blue fruit tingles.
No, fruit tingles was back in the day. Shout out to the Lennox Club and a few blue shits. After consuming a few of those for $6 on a Friday night.
Too funny. I think it was a bit rich from Robbo whinging about, Hardgraves have been unfairly targeted. He has the nickname of Sweet Arm Hardgraves for a reason.
He has priors.
Yeah, lots of priors.
Yeah. He has Matthew Priors, if you will. There's a reason why he gets targeted because...
He's suspended every other week.
Yeah, exactly. He's always, going to the judiciary, and that's maybe why the referees come down harder on him. So, I don't know.
Play it for us.
I feel like it's whinging about nothing.
So
it was Fisher Harris.
Oh,
yeah, maybe a little bit of milking. Maybe a little bit.
I know he gets him in around the eye or something.
Let's have a look. Oh, actually, looking at that, there's not a lot in that.
It needs a better angle.
There's not a lot in that.
It wasn't across the chops. It was more more like a slap.
Is that a penalty try? I don't think so.
He scored it anyway.
He scores anyway. And maybe,
well, in the act of scoring, he's whacked him across the face.
Maybe an Academy Award there for James Fisher Harris.
He's copped him a little bit. It goes across the shoulder because he's running past.
Will Smith, Warrior Hargraves, he slapped Chris Rock across the face and then goes and accepts his Oscar. No, except that analogy
It
doesn't work.
was, yeah,
It's
right,
the other
it was the
way
other
around.
way around.
Get my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Anyway, Penrith good.
Penrith
Yeah,
good.
Penrith's still good.
They lost the game yet?
They won, yes. They lost to Parramatta.
That's right.
Parramatta. So they're 10-1, and it means they go 4 points clear with Melbourne losing last night.
Yeah. And penalty goal there for the Raiders. But looks it.
Raiders 26-6, just under 20 minutes to go. Their green machine looking good
Look at
after
Damien Cook.
knocking off the
Do you know
Sharks
he
last
runs?
week.
He does beach runs.
Yeah, beach sprints, bruh. Look at that. Yeah, he sprints on grass too. Bang. There's two guys that I think will be named in the New South Wales side next week. Damien Cook on Jack Whiten. What's the late game? What have we got this afternoon?
Sharkies Titans.
Sharks Titans. Sharkies, they'll be reeling, I think, after getting pretty well handled last week by
I'm a bit worried
the Raiders at Magic Round.
about old Dane Finucane. He's had a few concussions this year already and had a concussion last week too.
4 now for Dale Finucane?
Yeah, this year alone. So.
Yeah, that's right. Not good. Big signing, obviously.
He's been excellent for like a captain as well. He's been excellent.
Yeah, and he's known for his toughness. He's kind of like an old school, well, an older, I should say, like Victor Radley, like just body on the line, like doesn't give a fuck. The bigger bomber, they call him. So yeah, let's hope that those head knocks are getting, that they're getting on top of him and maybe resting him.
Assume he's not playing this week.
No, not named this week. So maybe a week and or two. Like Sharks are they're in the top 8. They're playing the Titans. Like
I don't think it matters for
they
the Titans.
they should win. They've got the Roosters next week, so maybe trying to get him back for that. I've got Nico Hines captain for NRL fantasy.
He played. Did he play fullback or something? No, he didn't play 7 or something last week.
I
And
don't
they
know.
put
I
him
was
back at 7.
I was in the stands and we won a massive multi on the intercept try and on the beers. So I don't know. He could have been playing prop for all I fucking know. Shout out to the Punters Club winning on a Hudson Young intercept try. Go you good thing. Was riding him home like a fucking horse down the straight at Flemington. Go you good thing. Then we had the overs and that was the last leg to get us home.
Yeah.
Good times, Magic Round. Do recommend. Just take it easy at Caxton Street. Do we want to? Well, let's have a look at this ladder. Let's assume that the Raiders win this. That gets them 2 on the trot, so they will go to 10 points with a bit of a logjam there with South, Manly, and the Dragons.
Well, they leapfrog the Dragons on points differential.
Yeah, points difference. They'll jump the Dragons. They most likely jump Manly, and they will be behind South, so they'll jump into 9th place. Penrith out well in front now, 4 points ahead of Melbourne. And then those 2 Queensland teams in the Cowboys and Broncos, who are definitely playing a lot better than we had all expected. Parramatta, Cronulla, Chooks, and South round out the top 8.